Good morning, my dear students. Let us continue the poem Night of the Scorpion. In the last video, we had seen about the two stanzas of this Night of the Scorpion poem. This poem is written by Nissim Ezekiel, 1924 to 2004. So I read the two stanzas which we had seen. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. Parting with his poisoned flash of diabolic tail in the dark room, he risked the rain again. The peasants came like swarms of flies and cursed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. So these were the stanzas which we have seen about this, the stanzas about the explanation. Now here we will continue. With candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud-baked walls, they searched for him, he was not found. They clicked their tongue with every moment that sees that the scorpion made his poison, moved in mother's blood, they say. The peasants came like swarms of flies and pursued the name of God 100 times. So, on hearing these news, because the poet mother was stung by the scorpion, and so this news spread all over the village, and the villagers came to the house of the poet. And what did they do? They came like a swarm of flies, chanting, the name of God 100 times to stop the activity of the devil, the scorpion. And with candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows. So they had searched for the scorpion with candles and lanterns. With candles and lanterns, which were used as the lanterns, that is the lamp, which was usually in those days. So, and the candles and the lanterns throwing huge shadows resembling scorpion on the mud wall, on the mud black walls, because the houses were made of the mud, and so the walls were also mud baked walls, and so they had searched for the scorpion with candles and the lanterns, throwing huge shadows resembling scorpion on the mud wall. They searched for him. He was not found. The villagers tried themselves, best their level, but it did not find. And they clicked their tongue with every moment that the scorpion made his poison moved in mother's blood, they said. And what did they say? Because they searched everywhere with throwing the lights of the candles and the lanterns, because that scorpion had gone, beneath the mud baked walls. And so they searched for, him, but they did not find him. And they clicked their tongues to show their, frustration and sorrow. They clicked their tongues with every moment that the scorpion made his point, moved in mother's blood, they said. What did they say? They said that he means the scorpion made his poison. Made his poison. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. May your suffering decrease the misfortunes of your next birth, they said. And because of they did not get the scorpion, and so they clicked their tongues to show their frustration and sorrow, and with you, because may he still, they said, they hoped that that the scorpion would sit still. They hoped that the sins of her the previous birth would be burned away. And what is this superstition here? Because what did this villagers say? The villagers say, because when they did not get the scorpion, they said, they hoped that the sins of their previous birth would be burned away that night. Burn away tonight means that night. They say, and may your suffering decrease. May your suffering, it means they prayed that the present suffering would decrease the misfortunes of your next birth. Any misfortunes in her next birth. They say, because it is a superstitious, because all were the superstitious people of the village. And what did they think? What they were thinking, that the sins of here, the previous birth would be burned away that night. And they prayed that here the present suffering would decrease any misfortunes of your next birth, they said, the villagers said. May the sum of all evil balancing in this unreal world against the sum of God, against the sum of good. And they also hope that the balance of the sum of all the evil in this unreal wood against the sum of good would be. May the sum of all evil, bad things, balance in this unreal world against the sum of good. And what did they hope? The villagers hoped that the balance of the sum of all the evil in this unreal world against the sum of good would be diminished, ruined by her pain. Because it was paining because that the poet's mother's tongue was stung by the scorpion, and so it was paining. And what would they think? So they were thinking that it means the balance of the sum of all the evil in this unreal world against the sum of good would be diminished, ruined by her pain. Become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition. They said, and they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center, the place of understanding on each other. And what was the scene of that night? Because the poet's mother was stung by the scorpion, and the scorpion did not get to the people. And that's why there was different thinking of different people. And so there was now, see, may the poison purify your flesh. They prayed that the poison would purify her flesh of any desire and your spirit of ambition. And spirit of any ambition. They said, and they sat around on the floor. They sat around the floor to the mother of poet, and on the floor with my mother to the, my mother means the poet's mother in the center, and the piece of understanding on each other. Floor means because they sat around the floor with the mother in the center, and there was the piece of understanding. There was the piece of understanding. On every face, more candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain my mother twisted through the groaning on mat. Because they were, whatever they're thinking, that they were thinking, because they sat around the mother on the floor, and because my mother was in the center, and the poet's mother was center, and whatever there was the understanding, the piece of understanding on each other, on each face, and and more neighbors came in the help of with more candles more lanterns, there were more insects. In the rain continued the endlessly, because it was raining heavily in that night, and so the many more insects were coming to the house, and that is why the villagers came with the candles and the lanterns, to watch the insects on that night. And everybody was thinking about the peace. My father escaped, speaking retinist, trying every cruise and blazing the powder mixture of herb and hybrid, even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame beating on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to name the poison with an incantation. After 20 hours, it lost its note. My father's skeptic rationalist means a person who believes in reason. That is called rationalist. And the poet's father was a rationalist, a person who believes in reason and knowledge and doubted all things. So that was the father of the poet. However, at this time he tried every cause, and blessing he also tried the powders, mixtures, herbs and hybrids. He powdered a little paraffin on the better toe and lit it with a matchstick. The flame grew bigger and bigger, and the holy man, my mother only said, "Thank God, the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." So, because there was the effect of the poison, the lesser with a magical chant, after 20 hours it lost its sting. And the poet's mother at the end only thanks God that the scorpion had chosen to bite her and spare her children. Okay, so that is the end of the poem.